Today I'm going to be doing some drafts on Arena. Ranked draft at the moment is Rivals of Ixalan, so we are just going to crack right on. This format tended to be the Ascend deck was the best deck, quote unquote best deck. Some of the red decks were quite powerful as well, depending on how aggressive you could be with them, the pirate decks. But generally speaking, I always found the Ascend decks to be slightly powerful. The Merfolk decks were really difficult to have come off. They were kind of awkward, where you really needed your rares and your uncommons to have everything to come together, and you couldn't really have two Merfolk drafters at a table. So it was quite difficult. This pack here, Needletooth Raptor is a very, very powerful card, but Bishop of Binding is removal and is in the right colour combination where I want to be. I want to be somewhere in Esper, either in blue-white, white-black, or blue-black. All of those options are pretty much where I want to be. Cards I don't mind wheeling. I think these two red cards are the best cards. But I actually don't mind picking up a Gleaming Barrier or a Razka Relic. A Razka Relic's a little bit weak, but Gleaming Barrier works really well with the Ascend plan. So we'll take the Bishop. I really like Tomb Robber, but I know that others didn't. Moment of Craving and Spirewinder are both good as well. I think this is probably just a Spirewinder here. It's the most upside. Legion Conquistador is worth noting, just in case that comes back. The Herd Collar is good, but green is the most awkward colour. I like Spirewinder the most of these. Everdawn Champion's kind of awkward as well, just because it's not really a format about this. Plunderer is not very good. Crashing Tide's usually very good. In these kind of decks, it's just a very tempo-orientated card. Traveller's Amulet's very good if you end up being 3 colours. I think I'm going to lean on the Crashing Tide here, given we've already got the Spirewinder as well. This one here, Kitesail Corsair, is the best 2-drop. It's also blue, which goes quite nicely with what we've already got. Plays our tempo plan. Waterknot is fine, as is Sky Marcher. Sky Marcher's probably, depending on how our deck looks by the end, it's probably going to be slightly more awkward to cast. But we'll pick up the Corsair. Nice, very aggressive 2-drop. Squire's Devotion is excellent. This card basically adds 2 cards to your Ascend count, so for 1 card and 3 mana, you're then getting 2 permanents, which helps you get toward that. And in the Flyers deck, just having a big lifelinker and just be able to hit them in the face with it is very, very good. Once you have some copies of this, you don't mind picking up Soul of the Rapids, just to have like a massive boggle that you can hit them with. Raptor Companion is also okay. Not amazing. I would much rather have some things like Gleaming Barriers and just kind of play on the, I'm going to attack you with the Flyers and I'm going to play my Gleaming Barriers to block on the ground. But Squire's Devotion is excellent. This pack, there's not a whole lot going on here. I like the Suncrested Pterodon. Dreadmaw is one of the better green cards. Just because the power level of green isn't particularly high in this, so I actually really like this one. Pterodon is great. It works really well with Squire's Devotion, works really well with the whole plan that we're trying to work with here. And also just being able to, if you have another dinosaur, just having it vigilant, just hit for 2 every turn is very, very good. This pack, we've got another Spirewinder, and we have a Secrets. I tend to find that you only want one of these like 3 mana card advantage spells. So I'd much rather pick up the premium Flyer. They're much more difficult to come by. And there's not a whole lot else in that pack worth noting, so this one, Cleansing Ray, was always a reasonably high pick because it was an ability just to kill like really relevant vampires. But in this, it's best of 1, so there is no need to do that. This card is not very good. Only being able to, so we've had similar effects like this that have tended to just give any creature flying, but this one has to give a dinosaur flying, which is a massive restriction, and it also costs 4 mana, whereas previous effects have cost 3. So we'll take Crashing Tide here. Trailblazer is the best red common, in my opinion. along with Bombard. So that's potentially still might see some red cards. This pack here, I'm going to take a Soul of the Rapids here. I don't like the River Darter. It's not very good, but we may play the Soul of the Rapids. I'd rather not, but there's a chance that we do. Sea Legs is actually better than it reads. Being able to either plus your creature or minus, be able to use it in a combat trick in multiple different dimensions is quite good. Probably still not gonna play it, but it is worth noting. None of these cards are good, so we'll just close out this pack. Okay, so that pack went quite well. We've got a nice solid start to what we're wanting to achieve. Nice solid blue base with a couple of good white cards, but we're not committed to white at all yet. We're probably committed to blue just with the volume of good cards we have, like 2 Spirewinders, Corsair, and the Crashing Tides are all pretty premium. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. Tendershoot Dryad is one of the biggest bombs in the format, so we're going to pick this one, and we're going to see how we can get on with splashing it. Or we may just move out of the white and just play like a blue-green deck. My concern with that is that there are no removal spells in blue-green, so it's kind of awkward. It means that I kind of want to try and get as many treasure creators as possible, because the treasures are going to be our fixing for that one. So looking at Sailor of Means, Deadeye, Righthauler, and Scoundrel as things that I want to wheel. But yeah, we're definitely picking the Tendershoot Dryad. Martyr of Dusk is excellent for the Ascend plan. Deadeye Brawler is obviously a very good payoff for blue-black. Bombard, as I'd mentioned already, is one of the best red commons. But Sailor of Means is exactly what we're looking for here. And now we have a bomb we need to splash. We definitely want to want as many copies of this card as we can. This one, we've got a Gleaming Barrier and a Sky Marcher, Martyr of Dusk. Martyr of Dusk is quite good. Just another thing that helps with Ascend, like when the first one dies, you get more. So that's always quite nice. I actually really like the Gleaming Barrier for the same reason. Apart from it just means that you've got a little bit more defense. Obviously, it depends on the type of deck you're playing, but given that we're going to be quite flyer orientated, having these is not the end of the world. I think at this point, though, I'm going to pick the Sky Marcher just because it's the most powerful card. As much as we may not end up playing it just because of the constriction on our mana, I still think it's worth playing. Aquatic Incursion was a very interesting card in this one, because it makes three permanents for 4 mana, but the tokens aren't particularly relevant a lot of the time. I think this is probably just the Secrets of the Golden City pick. None of these other cards are massively impressive. This card's actually better than it looks. It's obviously just a 4 mana 3/3, but making the treasure always felt quite good with it. Hunt the Weak's one of the better green commons, but your green merfolk aren't particularly big, so always made this card quite awkward. But yeah, Secrets is going to be quite good here. Gives us a little bit more card advantage as well. This one I think is just a Moment of Triumph. The Bravado is like one of your really big payoffs for playing red and playing your aggressive blue-red deck. But Moment of Triumph is probably going to be pretty good. We've got a lot of flyers. Potentially save it from like a Moment of Craving or something. And I don't really want to play a Sworn Guardian or a Riverwise Augur. Another Sailor of Means here. There is a Gleaming Barrier, but yeah, we just want as many copies of Sailor of Means as possible. This pick I'm actually going to pick the Woodland Stream. Gives us an extra source to be able to cast the Tendershoot Dryad. Without having to worry too much. We'll definitely pick another Spirewinder. It is the payoff we're looking for. And the Sailor of Means wheeled from our pack, so that's great. So we've got, just to go through before we close out the pack, so we've got for Ascend payoffs, we've got Secrets of the Golden City to draw an extra card from that, the Spirewinders, and we've got Tendershoot Dryad, so we've got quite a lot of different avenues to try and get some card advantage through that. I don't think I'm going to play any of these, so I'm just going to pick a Strider Harness. there's a chance I play a River Darter if I don't get much in pack 3, but I would really rather not. Okay, so we're looking in pretty good shape. Just need to tidy up these cards. Probably not playing the Soul of the Rapids. We didn't get any more Squire's Devotions, which is kind of where I want to lean on with that one. So yeah, we're looking in pretty good shape. I mean, we've got we're probably lacking a couple 2-drops, but other than that, we've got some nice power level and Tender Shoot Ride. We've got some nice tempo with Crashing Tide. Lacking a little bit of removal. We're gonna have to play like a bit of a tempo game with the Crashing Tide and the Flyers, but that's okay. That's kind of what this deck's built to do anyway. So this pack, Perilous Voyage is reasonable tempo card, but you never tend to get the added bonus of the Scry, so it's kind of awkward in that sense. It's also a non-land permanent you don't control, which has actually been relevant on a couple of occasions. Territorial Hammer Skull is a good one. It's just one of the most aggressive cards that you can play, and just means that you can get the blockers out of the way, make sure you're pushing in damage. Altasaur is actually not as bad as it seems. It blocks pretty much everything in the format, and when I was saying earlier about the Colossal Dreadmaw, just holds that one up as a blocker as well. Skymarch Bloodletter is probably the best black common, along with Vanquish the Weak, so 2 best black commons there. Vine Shaper Mystic is one of the excellent Merfolk payoffs. But yeah, I think this is just a Hammer Skull. I don't think it's particularly close there. Pious Interdiction is one of the removal spells in this set, so that's a good one. Pirate's Prize is a nice one. Probably want to pick up 1 copy of this later, because it just being able to draw some cards and add to your permanent count by creating a treasure is really nice. Again, this removal spell is really good. So we're just going to pick that because we don't have a whole lot of removal just now. Ideally, we're looking for some 2-drops to go with what we're doing. Skyblade of the Legion is one of the better 2-drops that we're looking for, but I kind of just want the land to... We've not actually got 2. We've only got 2 cards that are double coloured. Maybe we can be a little greedy and just take the Skyblade of the Legion. Elaborate Fire Cannon is actually very, very good. Always give you something to do with your excess lands. And Shaper Apprentice is good in the Merfolk deck just because it's always flying. So 2 mana, 2/1 flying is very good. But we'll take the 1/3 flyer. It's always going to be flying for us, so that's fine. This pack's not really got a whole lot. Deathless Ancient and Marauding Looter are good in their tribes. There's obviously a Vampire tribal card, and this one is a Pirate tribal card. Goes with that blue-red Buccaneers Bravado deck I was referencing slightly earlier on. There's not a whole lot else going on here. Deacon and Queen's Agent are some other good top-end cards for the Vampire deck. But I think it's just Opt. Not massively exciting pick there, but it's still fine. We'll pick the Shaper Apprentice, which is another 2-drop. Siren Lookout is an excellent one here. Just a 3-mana flyer that is potentially either going to be slightly bigger or it's going to draw us a card. And that's pretty much exactly where we want to be with our 3-drops. Got access to a Shipwreck Looter. Looter's probably pretty good as well. It's probably better than the Shaper Apprentice in our deck, just being able to help us filter through our draws. And another Siren Lookout is very good for us. Gonna pick a Storm Sculptor. It's not gonna get played. There's a Pirate's Prize. So that's basically all the cards we were looking for. So now we've got to decide on the cuts we're making. So let's sort it out. So we have 43 cards. We've got 9 enchantments. Probably want to cut 1 non-creature and 2 creatures. Shaper Apprentice is the worst of our 2-drops. Like, I like these other ones. They all serve a purpose. And Sea Legs is not my favourite card. We're not really that deck, and like the things that already have big butts, they don't really need bigger butts. So I think it's probably just the Sky Marcher because it's the biggest push in our mana. Like we've got all these Sailor of Means and Siren Lookouts and stuff that we've got on there. So don't really feel like we need anything else in there. And yeah, the Siren Lookouts to me are just like an improvement over this card. Because as much as sometimes they're going to be a 1-2, when they're not, they're drawing us cards. And drawing cards is usually pretty good. So I don't need as many sources as this, though. I'd much rather make sure that our mana was pretty good. So I'm going to play the mana like this. I'm expecting just to be able to cast this Tender Shoot Dried off of the Woodland Stream or off of our 1, 2, 3, 4 sources of treasures. So it just means that we need to be slightly cautious with our treasures, just to make sure that we can cast this at some point. But I don't think it's worth making our mana base that much worse just to be able to play a forest, because we've got extra sources within our mana base anyway, within our spells anyway. Okay, let's take a quick screenshot. This hand's pretty good. Shipwreck, Looter, Sailor of Means, and then we can play the Tender Shoot Dried quite early, so seems pretty good to me. Can play turn 4 Tender Shoot Dried and just let it start going to town. I think I want to potentially hold the Looter. I don't think I need to play it out early, because I want the loot later on. Just to make sure that our deck is flowing a little bit more. We're going to have the Sailor of Means to be able to block any creatures anyway, so it's not like we need to trade early. And then we're just going to play the Tender Shoot Dried the following turn. And just, if they don't have removal, the game's going to end pretty quickly. So we're at 5 permanents. We'll be at 6, 7 permanents next turn. And then 8 in their upkeep, 9 by our turn, so we would... yeah, we'd be able to ascend the following turn, which would be amazing. Another island is excellent. So the fact that this is this makes a token every turn is just ridiculous. So it doesn't matter if it's my turn or their turn, it's always going to make tokens. Yep, that's fine. You've got a 3-3, but you lose 2 life, and you didn't deal with my Tender Shoot Dried, so... I'm just going to draw 2 cards, and we'll ascend. So then means I can start attacking with these tokens. I don't need to worry about these treasures now, so I'm just going to go ahead and get my loot and try and find something a bit more interesting than these lands. Yep, Spirewinder is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for there. Just really need more ways to try and end the game if they do end up being able to kill the Tender Shoot Dried. So a couple of big flyers is going to help us win the game. Just attack with the tokens. If they have a way to kill the Tender Shoot Dried in combat, then they get to start eating saplings. Obviously not the end of the world, because we've already dealt some damage and we've traded. Oh, they're just making a trade, sure. This game's going to be pretty over. Spirewinder, 3/4 flyer. Make another token. This game is done. That was one we didn't see too many of in didn't see any of in the draft. It's okay in this kind of deck, but we've obviously got better payoffs than that. Just attack with everyone but the Tendershoot Dryad. Sure. Cool. On the board, let's try and get out of silver pretty quick and up and onward. Yeah, that's not going to be that's an above average draw, being able to play our Tendershoot Dryad on turn 4 with no answer to it. So yeah, that is what it is. But this hand's pretty good. Again, Sailor's going to hold up on defense for a bit. Siren Lookout's either going to help us get through our lands or be a 2/3 flyer. So help us filter our draw. Not going to play out the planes yet. Don't need to let them know that that's the color combination we're on. Okay, there. Sailor means deck 2. Just going to play this side and Lookout. Don't really need to worry about the Sailor of Means getting in combat, so may as well do that. I don't need a Sailor. I just want some action from here. So 2/3 flyer up here is pretty good too. So yeah, really just looking for some ways to either get some flyers, get some card advantage on the go. Obviously we've got quite a lot of lands here, so okay, you got a 4/4. Okay, Sailor of Means, go. Alright, we'll attack with this. I don't really care about this card. We'll be able to just bypass it. Like, it's a 4/4, it's going to make some 1/1s at some point in time, but it's not a massive issue for us. We have some bigger creatures, like, we're just going to make bigger flyers than they've got ground creatures, so. Resplendent Griffin is one of the best cards in the format, in my opinion. So just continue hitting with the Siren Lookout. And play a Spirewinder. So they're on 5/8 permanents, so if they get 2 more, this thing's going to start being a pain. 1 more and it starts being a pain. Yep, okay, so this is they've ascended, so this thing's now going to grow every turn. So we're going to just try and take this opportunity to moment and trade with it, or to eat it. Don't want it getting out of control. So eat that. Otherwise that was going to be a problem. They get to draw 3, that's kind of a problem. Squire's Devotion is about the best draw in our deck there. Yep, sure. Let me guess, they didn't have any answers to the 4/5 flying lifelinker. Ooh, look at that, we got a rare. This hand's pretty good. Turn 2 Corsair with our removal spell and opt to be able to help us find some other stuff. So and Woodland Cemetery, so when we do find our Tendershoot Dryad, we can cast it. So yeah, this hand's pretty much about how we want to draw it up every time. On Talk of the Devil, there she is. So we're going to opt just trying to dig for another land, make sure we can cast this Tendershoot Dryad. That actually works out great for us because we're just going to Terror Pious Interdiction that now. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get this Tendershoot Dryad online. That can just stay there. Fly over for 2. They're then going to get to hit us with Vampire. But we're going to get to play Tendershoot Dryad now. And start making tokens. So one more and we ascend. Yep, that's far too slow here, buddy. If you stumble in best of 1, it tends to hurt quite a lot. Yep, Hunt the Week's slow to the party as well. Everything but the Tendershoot Dryad, in you get. Sure. Just make another big flyer. And then we don't really care that they're just going to kill this Tendershoot Dryad. Awesome. Up to silver 2. Here we go again. This one's fine. Obviously we're missing some creatures, but like Crashing Tide's going to buy us a bit of time. Pterodon's a good one to have at the top. Squire's Devotion's one of our better cards. Just going to play out the Shipwreck Looter. Queen's Bayish Soldier, sure. Just going to bounce that out of the way. I really just want to keep hitting cards. Hammer Skull is actually very good here. It means this Pterodon will have Vigilance, so that when we suit it up with Squire's Devotion, it's slightly more relevant. Yep, you got it. You want to block? You don't want to block. Okay, just looking for lands here now. I think our hand's pretty well set up, so. What you got going on? Voracious Vampire. Sure, very menacing. Yep. Let's draw 2, see if we can hit a land. Yikes, missed the land. I think I'm happy enough to trade the Shipwreck Looter off. Given the opportunity. missing the land there was kind of awkward, and certainly I tapped there because I was expecting us to find a land so we cast Skyblade of the Legion. Not expecting us to not hit the land and draw Opt so that we could cast Opt. So that's the reason that I played my mana out the way I did. I'll take 2 off the Vampire, it's not a problem. Blight Keeper, sure. Dusk Charger. Dusk Charger is a good card. Pirate's Prize. Let's see if we can hit a land. We did. So we're just going to get this Tender Shoot Dried down ASAP. And hope that it's going to be good enough. What we got? 5, 6, 7. Not too much. He's not got too much going on, to be fair. Okay, we're going to give the Dust Charger flying. That's more problematic. But yeah, like the ground pounders are not a massive problem. But we just need to make sure we get the Squire's Devotion on something pretty quickly. We might not have time to do Tender Shoot Dried just now. We might just have to go and play like a Spirewinder and put Squire's Devotion on it. In fact, it needs to be the Pterodon. It needs to be the Pterodon so it's got enough toughness to be able to block this thing. Bring it. Yeah, that's the one that's not attacking. I go to 9. I got 8 permanents, so they're 2 mana away from this Blight Keeper being relevant there. So we've just got one turn where we need to avoid them having removal for this, and then we'll try and get Squire's Devotion on this and start beating with it. Because as long as we get our life total up again so that this doesn't become relevant, then we should be okay. Yep, hit me for 5. I'll snap block that as well. This Liter's not doing a whole lot, so. Yep, give it that. That's totally relevant. Good. Okay, just don't want them to have removal for this thing. You've got a Pterodon of your own, that's fine. So, Squire's Devotion up this one. Whack you for 3. I just need to gain life. Then we're going to play the Tender Shoot Dryad and start going wide. We've not quite stabilized yet, but that's gross. As soon as I mentioned the word stabilized, dead. Sure. Don't think I'm supposed to play the Spirewinder out there. I think I need to play like they don't have anything, because they didn't cast anything the previous turn, so if they'd had that the previous turn, I'd have thought they would have cast that on the 2/5, so they could push in extra damage, but maybe that's not true, but Come on, let's fire. This one's a keep. Just need lands, and this hand's amazing, so... On the draw, we should find a land, so... Inside and Lookout is going to help us find more. Just need to find land 3. Guildgrove Stalker is a good one. It's an awkward one for us to block. Take our 2. Yep. Yikes. Where's the land? That is not good. I don't think there's any situation where I mulligan this hand. I think this hand was excellent, so... Okay, that's pretty bad for us. Play the Lookout. Hopefully find a spell, and then we can bin it. It's not looking good. They're going to take ages, and they're just going to kill us. So let's just move on. If they're going to play this slowly, when the writing's pretty much on the wall anyway, let's just move on. This hand's pretty good. Double Sailors with the removal spell. No, you've got a snub. Okay, Kitesale Corsair is a good one there. Just bridges the gap a little bit. Helps us start to apply pressure. Sure. That's a very dangerous trick that I'm okay with being used there in that sense. Sailor of Means, out you go. Conquistador? Sure. Yikes, that's a lot of Conquistadors. At least we've got Sailors for days to block them. Vampire Revenant, sure. Good one there, so we can at least trade with this Revenant. Don't want to fire off this bishop until there's something really, really nasty in play, so... Yep, don't mind a Conquistador. Do you have any more? No. Sure. Not a whole lot interesting on this game to be talking about. They've got a bunch of 2/2s, and I've got a pair of 1/4s that are holding them back, and that's just how this game's going at the moment. Oh, you're drawing a card now too. Look at that. Oh, now your guy's a 3/3. Look at that. Magnificent. That's better. Let's start pumping out 3/3s of our own. Don't kill him. Don't kill him. Don't kill it. He's so young. Okay, you got a flyer. And that's not a way to kill Tender Shoot Dryads, so that's a good sign for us. Still got a Conquistador, 1 unknown. Really? That's some really aggressive attacks. Take 5, kill 2 of your things. No lands, would like some gas. That's some gas. Yeah, let's smack him in the face with this one. They can double block if they want to double block, but given the previous attacks, didn't expect them to. Just keep pumping out tokens. Sweet. Let's get out of silver. Let's get into gold. Get through gold. Skyblade into Siren Lookout into Spirewinder with a combat trick. That's pretty good. And so if we just keep drawing lands, we go 2, 3, 4, 5. Ascend and hit you. River Sneak, that one's not particularly impressive. Okay, so gonna get hit for 3 here. Okay, multiple Spirewinder is pretty good. So that's us up at 7 permanent, so 8, 9. So we need one more to just push over. Hit you for 5. Felt like it was relevant to get the Ascend online just so we can try and be slightly more aggressive. Okay, we're making this block and pumping. If they want to bounce it, they can bounce it. That can negate. Negate's fine, that doesn't do anything. So we go to 13, just completely offsets their tempo as well, because they're not going to do anything else this turn. We get to play another 3/4 flyer. Whack you for 5, then we're going to whack you for 8 next turn. Just like a whack-a-mole. Okay, so you're dead. Good game. This sounds fine. Crashing Tide's a bit of tempo, and then Spirewinders into Dinosaur. Okay, a little flyer isn't the end of the world. Trailblazer's a good one. Just gonna bounce it. Try and keep them off of that. We also need more lands, so don't mind doing that. And then we've got Opt and Shipwreck Looter to try and help us hit our land drops. Opt would love a land. Let's discard the Pterodon here. Like, our hand's now pretty good. We've already got the green source for Tendershoot, so if we find a land, we can cast that. Red-black does have the most answers to Tendershoot Dryad in Bombard and Moment of Craving, both at common, which are both premium cards, so in theory they will have one of those to be able to deal with it, but let's make them have it. I'm not going to attack here just because I can make pretty reasonable blocks. So. And if they're using tricks to try and deal with these two things, it means they're not dealing with the Tendershoot Dryad. So we've got that going for us too. Sure. Reckless Rage is a nice one as well. Doesn't mean they're not attacking this turn though. A land would let us have an Ascended Spirewinder. Just going to poke in the air with this. Quiet in the Twitch chat today. Very, very quiet. Sure, I'll trade that. There's no point blocking, like, we're so far ahead. Another Spirewinder. Come on, opponent. Tetzamok. Well, that's rude. Okay, so you can't deal with the flyers, is what he's saying. That's what I think he's telling me. Land basically leaves them dead because we get to bishop one of these guys, bounce the other one, and smash in with the rest. Perfect. I just need to do this just to try and make sure that they're under the point where they have to Tetzamok and they can't do anything this turn with the treasure. So we're going to exile the Fathom Fleet border purely because if they kill this, I want them to lose life with this. The two life might be relevant. Oh, excuse me. Dad life, what's that about? Right, smack with everybody. So they go to 3. They need a land to Tetzamok. Land to Tetzamok leaves us with the bishop and the sapperling. Okay, they didn't draw the land, so got that going for us. Alright, up to silver 1. One more win for the 7th. This hand's pretty good. Hammer Skull being one of our better cards. Sailor is going to help us ascend with the Spirewinder. Crashing Tide's a reasonable bit of interaction, so this one is fine. Tendershoot Dryad, excellent. We've got the Sailor to be able to ramp into it, so Sky Terror's a reasonable one. But yeah, the Sailor into Tendershoot Dryad should be pretty good anyway, so they'll need a Bombard in these colours. Oh, let's bounce that. That would be lovely to bounce, wouldn't it? But let's go with plan A first and we'll see how we get on. Can take a little bit more damage. Getting the Tendershoot Dryad down earlier just means that we're then able to progress the game slightly more aggressively to counteract this. We'll see what they do this turn. That card doesn't really achieve anything. Yeah, we'll take a turn to do Tendershoot Dryad, and then we're going to bounce this thing next turn, so... This doesn't achieve anything. You can eat a sapling, or you can pump to eat the Sailor. Or you can have a combat trick. What do you have? Sure. That didn't really achieve a whole lot now, did it? Right. Send this back to where it came from. this isn't blocking, so may as well attack. These are going to be 3/3s next turn, so just going to block with a Sailor. They're going to want to play the Sky Terror back out again anyway, so. And then, yeah, just need to get multiple creatures down. Get the Spirewinder down. That's actually incorrect. I should have put this on. I should have played the Pterodon because then I could Spirewinder and Hammerskull next turn. Hopefully it's not too relevant because we should just be able to beat them up, but it might be costly. Just everything in front of that. What have you got for this? Sure, so... So you're dead? And just for the record, Tendershoot Dryad is a dumb card. In case you hadn't already realised. It's a very dumb card. Cool, that was a nice one. Good start to the day. And let's crack a couple packs, see what we get out of these. Haven't completed these sets, so these should be real rares. Oh, that's a bulk mythic. Wonderful. And a priest, sure. Alright, let's run up another draft. See how we get on with this one. Right, so Siren Reaver. I'm going to leave the Mythic to last because it's I'm probably going to pick it just for the sake of picking it. But Siren Reaver is excellent. Really aggressively costed. Usually costs you 3 just purely because you have cards like Kitesail Corsair that are going to let you hit or attack early and then be able to cast this. Forerunner is excellent with your enraged triggers with your dinosaurs. Exultant Sky Marcher is good, but obviously the mana is a slight push. Squire's Devotion's excellent, Kitesail Corsair is excellent, and Bravado is excellent. Zakama's large. When you cast Zakama, you tend to win. I kind of want to take Zakama, even though I know that the Siren Reaver is probably better. The Corsair is even like arguably better than the Reaver, but I think I prefer the Reaver, generally speaking. There's not even a whole lot of ramp in this set to be able to try and get up to this. 9's a lot. Let's just pick the Siren Reaver. Let's be boring. Okay. This one has Stormfleet Swashbuckler. Is a nice card for the red Ascend decks. Doesn't really come together all that often, but when it does, it's quite good. And this guy's one of the better cards. Just having a 2/2 double striker is pretty good. Spirewinder, like we saw in the last one, is pretty good. Squire's Devotion's pretty good, but I think you just want to pick the Spirewinder. Kind of goes with what we've already picked. Nothing else really interesting in that one. This one has Luminous Bonds. Luminous Bonds, one of the better cards. Obviously just a straight up removal spell for your opponent's creature. Kitesail Corsair is excellent. Merfolk Mistbinder is one of the best payoffs for the Merfolk tribe. But we haven't seen any of those. So we're going to pick the Kitesail Corsair. It just goes really well with what we've already got and with Flyer Plan. So it goes quite well. Still, we're open to being basically any paired colour. We aren't committed to anything at this point, so we'll just see what comes up. This pack has Secrets of the Golden City, which is a nice card for just some card advantage with Ascend. Martyr of Dusk is fine if you're playing white. The Mausoleum Harpy is actually really good in the blue-black Ascend deck. I really like this one. And seeing we've already got a Spirewinder, like the red cards aren't inspiring. These you tend to be able to pick up slightly later, and as we saw in the last draft, you get Pirate's Prize in pack 2, or in the third pack in Ixalan, which is kind of similar. So I'm just going to take the Harpy. I think it's the biggest payoff card there. We're not necessarily committed to playing this, but I think it's the card I want to pick there. This one has Squire's Devotion, Bravado, and Trailblazer. Soul the Rapids isn't what we're looking for here. I think we're on Trailblazer as the pick here. Do really like Trailblazer. It just gives us slightly more aggression to our deck, especially if we're just straight blue-red. Bravados are good pickups as well, because most of our things are already pirates. So we'll go with the Trailblazer. We've got a Bravado to pick up here. There's not a whole lot of anything else. There's a Highland Lake that potentially probably won't come back. There'll be something else in there, but goes well with what we've got. Not a whole lot of anything here, so we'll just pick up the secrets. There's nothing for black, so like if we were still considering, still keeping our options open, but there is nothing to be able to pair with a Harpy, so I just want to try and keep on the colour that we've got. I'm not going to play any of these cards, so I'm just going to take this just in case we open something that we can splash. Tilnally's Crown's kind of awkward in these kind of decks, because everything tends to have 1 toughness. But it's probably better than the Sworn Guardian. This can act as a removal spell as well, which is relevant. Pirate's Pillage is one of the better enablers for Ascend in red. So we're going to pick that. Freebooter's replaceable. Really, really replaceable. I'd much rather have Spirewinders. This is a form of card filtering that gives us a little bit more play to it as well. We'll just pick a couple of medium cards at the end here. So yeah, this pack's gone fine. Like, we're not super thrilled about it, but we've got a plan. We can certainly be an aggressive blue-red deck with some very, very good flyers, potentially a couple of removal spells, a little bit of card advantage, maybe a little bit of Ascend sub-theme, and be able to go from there. So this pack, Storm the Vault is not a playable card. Don't ever worry about trying to read this card, because it's not worth your time. Dire Fleet Neckbreaker is a very, very good red-black payoff card. Just means that you can be really aggressive with it. All your cards are amazing at that point. Sailor of Means is better in the Esper Ascend decks than this kind of deck, although we would probably still play some number. Bombard's probably the pick here. Water Knot is a push on the mana. Bombard tends to just kill everything. Being an instant is relevant as well. I'm going to take the Bombard. So Silvergill Adept, that's not a pick for us. Reaver Ambush is a good one, but not one we need here. Kitesail Corsair is just the best card here. Luminous Bonds is a close second, I think, but Corsair is just excellent. Curious Obsession is quite interesting with the Corsairs that we've already got. Another Corsair as well. We've got so much evasion already. I kind of want to take the Obsession. I think I'm going to take the Obsession. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with the Obsession. It's going to be, oh, another Corsair. That's perfect. I was going to look at Expel, just another way to be able to move creatures out of the way, but another Corsair is just going to go great. Probably a Brazen Freebooter at this point. Spirewinders, excellent. I'm not massively in love with Swaggering Corsair, so I'll just pick another Secrets. Sea Red is a similar kind of card to Curious Obsession. Giving stuff first strike's pretty good too, so probably just going to pick that. We're going to be quite aggressive with this. Always going to be looking to turn things sideways. Sailor Means is a good card just for kind of hold up the middle ground. I'm not going to play a Sea Legs. Erasca Raptor. It's on color, I guess. Yeah, we're not going to play any of these. I'm not going to play Negate. I'm not going to play that. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Got a little bit more shape to it now. We know what our plan is. We're trying to be really aggressive and then just kind of win the game with our big flyers at the end. So if we can try and lower our curve, that would be pretty good. But if we can get anything slightly more aggressive, that would also be fine. Headstrong Brute is pretty much the best 3-drop for us in this kind of deck. If we've got another pirate, it's got Menace, so it's pretty much always going to have Menace. So a 3/3 Menace for 3 is pretty much exactly where we're looking for. The Sleek Schooner would have been another option, just to be having an awkward to deal with 4/3 creature. Windstrider's fine as well, but probably want slightly cheaper creatures than that. just to kind of be cautious on our curve. Side and Lookout's great. It's also a pirate, and it's just another 3-drop that's going to help us with what we've got going on. Drover is fine in the dinosaur deck. Tecatli Honor Guard's not very good in limited. Swashbuckling we would potentially play just because we're so aggressive. We've got options here. So we've got another Headstrong Brute. We've got Fathomfleet Firebrand, which is just it's a 2/2, but it's got fire breathing for 2 mana, so it can get out of hand quite quickly. Water Trap Weaver is a very good tempo-based card, being able to tap down their thing and keep pushing through damage. I think it's probably just the Headstrong Brute just to be maximize aggression with it, especially given that every single creature in our deck is a pirate. So basically always give me a menacing creature, and that's going to be pretty good for us. This pack's not amazing for us. I think it's probably just going to be Stormfleet Arsonist just because of the size of it. I've already got 2 secrets, so I don't really need a Pirate's Prize. Yeah, we'll just pick this, but it's probably not going to make the cut. Unfriendly Fire will make the cut. It kills creatures and it goes face, so that's pretty much spot on the money. None of these cards are good. Don't need to hate stuff because we're not in the same pod. Take a cancel. Prosperous Pirates is really good in the Esper decks because, again, it's a 1 spell that makes 3 permanents. That was that kind of thing I was talking about in the first draft, where when you're trying to ascend, being able to have permanents that made multiple, or spells that made multiple permanents was very, very relevant, but we don't really need that here. I think I'm just going to pick a Pirate's Prize for the board. We may have to play an extra one. Sure Strike's an excellent trick that's just going to help us be able to make sure our creatures live through combat. Don't want any of those. I'm going to put the Swashbuckling there, but I don't think it's going to start. I really like Stormfleet Pyromancer. Pirate's Prize, another one. Ryle. Demystify. Right, let's have a look at this one. So we've got the Curious Obsession, which pairs nicely with our 2-drops. And then we've got a bunch of non-creatures. So we've probably got slightly too many non-creatures, but we don't have any better creatures on our board. So definitely want to cut one of these. It's going to be Tilnali's Crown. As much as it's kind of a removal spell, like, it's probably not going to be in this deck. I like Stormfleet Pyromancer because it's a way to push through with flyers and then kill like the relevant creature on the ground, or another one of their own flyers. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Oh, no, not that one. Yep. Alright, let's rock and roll. Thanks everybody for hanging out this wonderful Saturday afternoon. Hope your weekend is going wonderfully. Don't know how much longer we'll be live, but we'll keep going certainly through this draft. We may do another one. We'll see how it goes. Depends how many people are tuning in. This hand's not great. Our deck's much more aggressive than this, so I'm going to mulligan this one. And this hand's better even though we don't have a red source. Like, we can scry into a red source, play the Trailblazer, and then be quite aggressive, so... Perfect. Raptor Companion. I'm going to play the Kitesail Corsair because I just want to be able to push in the air, not worry about their stuff on the ground. I think green-white was, when we did our testing previously, was the worst colour combination. It just never had particularly good draws. Like, all the cards were pretty medium in it. Not saying that it's completely unplayable, but I'm just going to hold up this Bombard this turn. I would like to 2-spell next turn, and all of our other spells cost 2, so just want to get this Bombard out of the way. Okay, they got no tricks either. Didn't give them an opportunity to respond, so definitely no tricks. Marcher of Dusk is a good one. And a Gleaming Barrier, that doesn't do anything, that's fine. Okay, no land's kind of awkward. I think I'm just going to hold back and use the Bravado to eat one of their creatures. Just feel like we need to make sure we live long enough to cast our other spells. Interesting. I'm okay with just taking 2 here. As much as it's kind of awkward not doing anything with our mana this turn, like, they didn't either, so... let's just play out the Spirewinder, I guess. Are we? Let's play the Trailblazer. And then beat for 2. Radiant Destiny with 3 completely different creature types. Sure, what the hell's that naming? Dinosaur, sure. So we're going to block, we're going to use the Bravado, give my thing double strike. So they gain 2 life, but their Daggertooth goes away, they don't have any dinosaurs, so this Radiant Destiny isn't really doing anything. We're going to play Spirewinder. Okay, Trailblazer, that's a strange use of that, but hey ho. Tashana's Wayfinder. Card's pretty good. An Armasaur would be a 5/5, that's going to be pretty big. Let's discard this Corsair, let's get Ascended, and then we can start casting some other stuff. Okay, now we've got some stuff going on. They're going to have a 5/5, which we do need to be cautious of. Our life total, we're not like that far ahead. So we're going to need to suit up this Corsair with the Sea Red and hopefully get there. And then we're playing Brutes. Brute's kind of awkward, but if the Armasaur starts coming in, then it's Vigilant. Never mind. Scratch that. Another Armasaur. Yeesh. Right, let's draw some cards. I need something. Freebooter's a pretty good draw. So unfortunately we need to block both of these Armasaurs. Unfortunately we're dead, aren't we? Yeah. Those Brutes were awkward. Oh, I wasn't dead. Never mind. I completely miscounted. I could have... I actually won the game there. Never mind. Never mind. I thought I'd played the second Brute out and not the Freebooter. Too busy trying to pay attention to other things. This one's slightly awkward, but Brute into Reaver is going to be pretty good, so... Okay, they're struggling for manas. Brute. We don't need the men. We don't need to raid this Reaver out. We're not gaining anything else from doing that. So, okay, swamp, plains having been an Armasaur off the Seeker Squire explored. That makes sense. Dark Inquiry. Well, Siren Reaver's going away, but we will get to draw some cards with this Pirate's Pillage, which is nice. Yep, take 2. Okay, they forgot to attack. Okay. We've got a Sailor and a Brute to play this turn, so... And we've always got Sure Strike to keep up. Vampire Revenant, sure. Okay, now we're cooking. Let's just make sure we get our cards. I would like to draw a card, please. I'd love to draw a card. I don't need to play the Sailor out this turn. We'd rather hold up our tricks just in case they've got some kind of conditional removal. Sure. Sure. So they're dead? Sure, you're dead. That's fine. You. Draw a card. That was sweet. That's more how this. I'm expecting this kind of deck to play out. We're nearly ranked up. If I hadn't messed up the previous game, we would be ranked up, but c'est la vie. Moving on, moving up. Snacky Chan. I am definitely a Snacky Chan. Yeah, this is fine. Sailor of Me, like Sea Red's gonna be awkward until we draw one of our evasion creatures, but Sailor of Me and Secrets to the Golden City is gonna help us get there anyway. So this one's fine. Buccaneer's Bravado is a reasonable one. Siren Reaver's good. Sailor of Me's another good raid enabler. Probably some people will remember from when raid was initially used in Cans block, that it was always your like 0/4s that were the things that were triggering and enabling raid. So the 1 mana discount is not making too much of a difference here, but it does mean we have Bravado just in case they've got something. So. And we'll get to suit up this Reaver with Sea Red and try and just get them dead. Blue-green isn't going to have too many answers to that, so... Hunt the Weak. Well, we're just gonna have to trade 2 for 2 here, but I'm certainly not letting them keep their thing around. Oops. Tradesies. Played under flyer. Smash. It's more. It's quite a good tempo play. Obviously, they've now down to nothing. They've got a 3/3 now. That's a good draw. We get to play Brute, and we get to play Sea Red on Spirewinder. Whack you in the face. If you want to use a trick to get through the Sailor, I'm okay with that. Yep, that's fine. Means the Brute's not menacing, but yeah, sure, you got a 1/1. Draw 2 cards. Hit you for 7. Okay, you make 2 tokens. 2 tokens kind of annoying. If they attack with the... Okay, it means the tokens are just chomp blocking. That's good for us. So we'll play the freebooter out, which will make this menacing. It's going to draw 3 cards. Yikes, that's a lot of land. Whack with these. You have to double block here to not die, and then you have to deal with all 3 of my creatures. Yep. Don't know what you're drawing into, but I'm excited to see it. Cool. Cool, up to gold. It's the worst bit at the end of season each time, having to then go back through and grind up through the gears. That's why I didn't bother with the constructed one this time, because I just didn't find a deck that I enjoyed and just went, I'm actually not enjoying this. There's no point me spending my time doing this when I'm not enjoying it. When there's a standard deck that I'm enjoying and I could just play it for days, then that's fine, but at the moment there aren't any of those for me that I'm enjoying, so this one's good. Kitesail Corsair, and then find a red source, Brute. Evasion for days, evasion for days. Snubborn, Snubborn. And then, even if we don't find a red source, we do get to use secrets just as a divination. You have a 2/2. Sweet, found the red source too. Whack. Buccaneers Bravado was definitely one of the payoffs for being this color combination. We're going to attack with both, and then we can bombard one of the Queen's Bay soldiers. Just to clear up the board. This is, I wouldn't say bad, but it's, if they have the moment of triumph, then it means that they just get to eat the Brute. Sheltering Light. Sure, we're playing unplayable cards. Good. Okie doke. Dusk Charger's a good one. keep my 2. Why wouldn't you leave one of both? Raid and a Reaver. Mark of the Vampire. That's ridiculously rude. Not sure what I'm supposed to do about that. See if we can find something in the next 2. We can do this and hope for the best. Oh, you want to make your creature bigger? That's rude. Ugh. Okay, we found a Sure Strike, so got that going for us. If they find what we got, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so land is bad for us. Okay, they didn't have a land. Please go away, that thing was going to be scary. If you play a land or a creature here, you've absolutely punted. Yeah, you should have played that before combat. Yeah, they definitely should have played that before combat, because then the thing gets to be an 8/8. The Snubhorn Sentry and the Queen's Base Soldier get to come in for lethal as well, so we get to attack for 5 here. If they want to double block, then we get to make some blocks. Sailor of Means, and we've still got a big blocker, so. And they've only got 5, 6, 7, 8 permanents, so they need 2 permanents to make this a 6/6. Tomb Robber, sure, that doesn't do a massive amount. Menace could be relevant. Menace could be relevant, though. Need to keep attacking with something so the Sea Red stays on. This card's great when you keep finding lands off it, but until that point, it's not amazing. But at this point, I guess they just want lands because it makes their board huge. So. Alenda the Dusk Rose, sure. Just gonna say right now, this one's not looking so hot. I'll be honest with you. That's a strange place to put it. Right, so we've got 3 blockers. So we're going to take 3 or 2 minimum. Pterodon. Pterodon's real annoying. So I was really hoping we could. Wow, we didn't block. Well, he's giving us out by not blocking to these things, so it really is. I mean, we've got, what, 5 points of power? So they'd have to... Ugh. Well, that's just... the guy's playing poorly. Let's just keep playing. Okay, we missed. Right, that's fine. That happens. Let's go again. This is always why I preferred playing the Ascend decks, just because they had a bit more game to them, a bit more of a plan. Some of these other decks are a little bit difficult to have go your way. With this deck, we kind of want to be aggressive, and at that point, then, as soon as they have things, it's quite difficult. So, the Ascend decks are kind of like mid-range control-y deck. Somewhere between a mid-range and a control deck, whereas everything else seems to be aggro. And at least with the other ones, like if you've got Sailor of Means, you're still holding off the armies. So... I'm going to keep it, but it's not particularly good, but... Oh, good. Cobbled Wings, sure. Alright, so we need a land for next turn, but Sailor of Means is a good draw. It's going to help us find some more. Be able to cast more spells, so that's not the end of the world. Frenzied Raptor. 4-2 of Doom. Okay, and we're done with this one. Let's move on to another draft. That one wasn't amazing. Didn't quite come together. Let's crack the pack and then we'll move on to do the next draft. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got. So we've got Merfolk Mistbinder, which is one of the biggest payoffs for Merfolk. Kitetail Corsair, which is a good aggressive flyer. Azor's Gateway is a really good way of filtering cards. You don't really need the other half of it. Just being able to loot away your stuff is really good in the mid-range decks. I'm going to pick Azor's Gateway. I think that it's... in my preferred decks, which is the Ascend decks, it's one of the better cards to be able to help you filter through your draws, and certainly takes away some variance when you're playing best of one as well. So, Kumena's Awakening is a very, very good card. It just keeps you drawing cards, and if you've got City's Blessing, it draws you multiple cards. So, or it stops your opponent drawing cards. So it's a Howling Mine with upside later on. So. The other cards are Sailors of Means, Dusk Charger, but not a whole lot else, so I really like the rare here, so we'll take that one. Whereas I really don't like the rare here. This thing is a weird card. It's so difficult to deal 1 damage to it to make it live and make it big. Yeah, I don't know why this thing exists. So I think they could have put this at like rare or uncommon, and it wouldn't have made a difference because it still would. You'd never actually be able to trigger it properly. Into the Unknown's not very good. Neckbreaker is a good card for red-black. Dust Charger is a good payoff for being blue-black Ascend. Gleaming Barrier is fine as well. I'm going to pick the Dust Charger because I think it kind of goes with the Azor's Gateway slightly better. And we've already got a Kumena's Awakening, which is going to be an Ascend card. This one doesn't have a whole lot apart from Spirewinder. There's a couple of Merfolk cards, but we've already got rid of the Mistbinder, which would have been the card to push us into that. Sailor of Means is a good one, good enabler. We've got some payoffs already, so just need enablers. I really like Wayward Swordtooth, but I don't think it's going to be the pick. Dinosaur Hunter is actually quite good. As a 2/2 that's got death, like pseudo death touch for some decks, is pretty good. Conquistador is a good one. Depend on the white deck. Crashing Tide's fine, but I'm going to pick Dinosaur Hunter. It's just a good 2-drop. Another Spirewinder, I'll take that. Gleaming Barrier is a nice way to bridge the gap. I don't think I'm going to play any of these, but I'm going to pick the Rig Hauler, put it on board just now. Crashing Tide is fine. Another Gleaming Barrier, but a Raska Relic. So this is fine. Like, we're not really committed to black at all here. Like, we're probably committed to blue just with the volume of cards we've got, but not really anything else. Form of the Dinosaur is a very, very good card. Just always a removal spell every turn. There is a Sailor of Means. Dusk Legion Zealot's fine. I think it's probably just Sailor of Means. It's a good card for what we've got going on, and Form's pushing in a different direction. This one's kind of weak. It's kind of weak across the board, actually. There's not a whole lot of interesting cards across this one. I think it's just going to be Secret to the Golden City. We've already got a Crashing Tide, so I'd rather have a draw 2 before that. Pick up any more of those. I'll pick the Rekindling Phoenix. I'll quite happily move into red for Rekindling Phoenix there. Don't know why that's still there. Can pick up another Secrets. Spirewinder. Gonna pick up a Sworn Guardian rather than a no, that's not true. I'm just gonna pick the Dinosaur Hunter. I don't know what we're gonna be playing. If we're gonna be playing this Rekindling Phoenix or not, so just kind of want to hedge. Wanted to hedge, but it's probably just correct. Just take the black card. I played one deck with Flood of Recollection before, and it was reasonable. I wouldn't recommend playing it, but that one instance was reasonable. With the Rekindling Phoenix as well, there's a chance that we just want to go into red. Brazen Freebooter is a pretty good one for the bigger red deck. So yeah, there's been a really late bomb that's pushed us into a different direction. So yeah, we'll see how this pack goes as to where it pushes us. Not sure if we're going to be red or black here, but definitely going to be a base blue. Sky March Bloodletter is probably the best card in this pack. Lookout's Dispersal isn't amazing. The Caravel's not good. Buccaneers is fine, but not really what we're looking for here. Just going to pick this Bloodletter, and that's going to be... Oh, Vona. Vona's very good. How greedy can we be? I'm definitely picking the Vona. I think we're just going to have to figure out what we're doing in deck building. Really want as many treasure creators as possible so we can try and figure out what we're doing with these. Side and Lookout is excellent. Just want more things that are going to help us explore. Help us find our mana, because I think we're going to need some help finding it this game, or with this deck. Air Elemental is a great payoff at the top of the curve. Yeah, and it's in blue. Having blue cards, because we're going to be base blue, is going to be pretty good. Got an Opt. Prosperous Pirates is great as well, for the same reason. It's going to help us find these other things. Marauding Looter is great. Depths of Desire is a nice one. An unsummon that makes a treasure. Just pick at the last couple of cards here. Don't think it matters too much. Alright, we're going to have to figure out what our deck's going to look like here, because yeah, we need to kind of figure it out. So I think we only want to be playing the really good cards. So the Rekindling Phoenix, the Marauding Looter, the Form are all very, very good. Yeah, we've got... what have we got in terms of instant sorcery? We've only got 5, so we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 non-creatures. Yeah, 9 non-creatures. I will figure out how to read those things properly at one point in time, but it's certainly not going to be today. Cut the Crashing Tide. I just kind of feel like we're not supposed to be black. What's it look like without the... Like, and then we can just double splash the Vona. What happened there? I don't know what happened there. Everything's gone a mess. Yeah, so we can just double splash the Vona off of... Yeah, we don't need that many. Stop trying to put that many in our deck. Yeah, I think we can do that with 1 Plains, 1 Swamp, but we've got Gleaming Barriers and Sailor of Means and Depth of Desire, Prosperous Pirates to help us cast these things. I don't think this deck doesn't seem amazing, but like we've got the power level if we can get there, so let's run with this. What's the worst that could happen? It's kind of like 5 color treasures, but just not quite enough treasure creation, but... this one's good. Gleaming Barrier to be able to block early. Depths of Desire, a bit of interaction, then we can loot and loot away for days. And there's the red source. Perfect. Hammer Skull, that's rude. Elaborate Fire Cannon is an interesting card because you can always shoot something for 2 and be able to use its ability to just throw away extra lands later on to be able to shoot things more. It's an expensive rate, but it does stop you flooding. It's also going to stop them from wanting to put X2s in play, so... Got a Raptor Companion. We don't need to do that, it's already untapped. Well, we may as well play that one out, you know. Ugh. Right, so we just get to block the Raptor Companion here. Sun-crested Pterodon. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll ascend with the Spirewinder next turn. Luminous Bonds is very rude. Very rude indeed. So we go to 12. I'm going to pick up the Phoenix so I can cast it again without a Luminous Bonds attached to it this time, preferably. I really want this hammer skull off the table. Sure. If they have a thing to kill the egg as well, then so be it, but they have to have something to kill the egg. And they do have something to kill the egg. Wonderful. This is what I got. Okay, Spirewinder down. Just taking 2. Just attack with a sailor. I just need to get the raid trigger. If they block with like the hammer skull, then I get to shoot it with a fire cannon. Shoot that. Man, that's another flyer. That's really annoying. Yeah, attack with Raptor Companion if you want. It's not going to make a difference. Air Elemental is a great one. Right, 4/4 flyer. Please don't have another bombard. Okay, that's pretty good. Ooh, that's an interesting attack. May as well untap it. Form of the Dinosaur is an amazing draw, so don't need to attack. Just going to cast this. And then it's going to start killing things. Yep, that's what I thought. Just your shitty little flyer. Come on. Please go away. Azor's Gateway is a good draw. Ooh, that's interesting. I haven't seen that animation before. Oh, I would much rather kill that one. Far more dangerous. Let's poke this one. care about that one, so let's attack for 4. And then we'll use the looter at the end step. He's thrilled to see us. Let's kill this one. I'm gonna go to 5. Firebrand. Need to get this thing untapped so I can kill this Raptor Companion, because 3 damage is probably going to be relevant. Go 4. Secrets of the Golden City. I would love to draw 3 cards. There's my Vona. Shoot this thing. Hit you for 7. I actually cannot play this card because otherwise I'm going to deck myself, I think. Ditch that one. He's going to be really mad when I play the 3rd Mythic against him, but I don't care. This is how you present greed. It's an efficient way to present greed. Yeah, this hand's great. Prosperous Parties is going to help us cast Vona, so... Okay, you've got a little shitter. So even if we don't draw lands, we need one more land so we can play Pirates and then we can cast Vona off of it as well, so... It's going to hold back the Jungle Delver, so we're just taking damage in the air. If we draw land, we can also Spirewinder. Potentially problematic if they got bounce spells for Vona, because obviously we don't have that many sources to be able to cast it from. Okay, more cards that don't do anything. Cool. I think I'm just supposed to cast Secrets and try and dig for lands. Oh wow, I didn't find any. That's kind of awkward. A little bit of an awkward turtle situation there. Oh, you're going to bounce my thing? Bouncing my thing seems rude. It's almost like you're trying to push in damage. So I'm going to take 4, 5, go to 12. He forgot to attack. Let's play the Spirewinder out. Yeah, oops. Let's start blocking flyers. Yeah, sure. I don't know why we slow rolled that one. One of my pet peeves is the tank, play, make the obvious play. What have we got? What can we... Guess we can play Prosperous Pirates. I kind of need to get the Spirewinder down, don't I? Just not going to get this Vona down, I don't think. If they have more bounce spells, it's just going to make things even more awkward. This could be a River Herald's Boon. Or just nothing. Sure. Crested Herd Collar, sure. That one doesn't really achieve a whole lot. So we've got 6, 7, 8 permanents. So play this, play Bad Air. These things are 3, 4 flyers. Gonna need some good ones from here, I think. Branch Walker, sure. Vine Shaper Mystic is a good one. Don't know if it's good enough, but it's a thing, I guess. So we're really looking for land here, right? So we've got 4 creatures, they've got 8. They've got what, 1, 2... Got a lot of little creatures. Let's play Pirates and Sailor. And then we can Vona next turn. Can play Vona with a Vona and Fire Cannon next turn. Sure. That pump something. Sure. Sure, we'll trade. So Vona's now going to be able to block anything that we want, so it's going to make their attacks very, very difficult. So I think they're going to hold this, so they can try and figure out what they're doing to move the game forward. And now we're just going to keep drawing our gas. Not going to play out the Fire Cannon yet. I still want to have this Depth of Desire up. Like, this thing's going to grow a little bit, which is going to be annoying, but that's what the Depth of Desire is going to be there for. Another Jungleborn Pioneer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 creatures. And we've got 7 blockers at the moment, so they've got 3 in. So it'd be 1, 2 on these tokens. And we're essentially on 11. So it was on a branch walker. Branch walker and a token. Need to play out the land so that we can depth and activate the fire cannon. Feel like I'm supposed to do this now that I can do both of these. Means that I can manipulate the things he's blocking quite nicely. Okay, that's fine. We'll just bounce this. Gets out of the way, at least. Chart course is a pretty good one. Okay, that's... I kind of want that just so I can be able to untap this next turn. Do need to start killing things. First thing we're killing is this Jungle Delver. Given enough opportunity to do so. Attacking everything. Okay, no. My turn. Let's kill the branch walker. Figured there was something. There had to be something that made them not cast the Charter Course. Forerunner of the Heralds. That's a pretty reasonable one too. At least we get to shoot it with a fire cannon. We got a Lord. If you got Lord, this is going to be pretty difficult. Fire cannon's going to have to deal with the Lord. Just another artisan. Sure. Kill this one. Kill this one. So we're definitely stable. It's just a matter of how we progress to winning from here. Not going to be the easiest. Like, I mean, this doesn't really matter. I just block with the Phoenix and it comes back, so it's not like they do anything here. Does mean they get to draw 2 cards, but that does at the same time mean they're decking first, so... That one. That one's great. We're just going to get to pick off every single little creature until this Vona is able to push in. Starting with that one. Starting with that one. Kill this one. play more stuff. Man, these games have been sweet so far with this deck. I mean, we've obviously got a high amount of power level. Oh, that's gross. High amount of power level with what we've got going on, but definitely sweet. Just want to try and kill all the little creatures first, so we can try and start being able to push in with Vona. Siren Lookout will do, yeah, sure. I guess we can just attack with a Spirewinder now. There's no harm in it. Don't think I'm going to be casting this, but sweet. That was great, and realised that I hadn't actually posted a picture of this ridiculous deck. Keep it that way. And we've got, what are we at, 2-0 with this? This is one of these formats where you could literally just play anything. It doesn't actually matter. Don't think it matters at all. Like the treasures just allow you to set up into anything. I mean, like, this is another one where we're going to get to play turn 4 Phoenix regardless of our mana. Take another mountain. Secrets will be a good one too. Okay, opponents on monoplanes. Sure, you got a 3/3. Try and smooth out our draw a little bit. This isn't going to be a fire kind of matchup. Okay, now you got a 4/4. 4/4 is slightly more awkward, but we do have the Phoenix, so. Just don't want to trade off for that stuff, so. Play out the Phoenix, and then we're going to get to start rummaging away at some more stuff. I've got three islands, probably don't need more than that. Thanks everybody for hanging out today. Good to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. wherever you are in the world. I think I'm just happy to take this trade now. Or try and take this trade now. Sure, that doesn't really achieve anything. Didn't matter where I blocked. Get to play secrets next turn, draw a bunch of cards, see if we can't find our Vona. Or find a way to bounce the Phoenix. I'm not going to block this. That means they don't have any more tricks though, otherwise they would have attacked, so... Okay, you got a 3/4 flyer. Okay, we'll just naturally draw the Vona. Vona gets in, it can actually start blowing up this Luminous Bonds. So the Phoenix can get in about. That'd be good. That'd be nice. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Does that mean I just want to... I think I just want to chomp block here so I can kill this. So then it means that we go up to 14, I can pay 7 to kill this. Seems pretty reasonable. Like, I'm not going to be able to deal with this otherwise. Sure. Like, sure. Let's see if we can find a removal spell. We can't. I think I'm happy just to do this, pay the 7 to kill this. Just blow up everything. And then play out Headwater Sentries. Like, yes, our Vona's dead, but like we're pretty much stable on the board. I speak too soon. There's another Squire's Devotion. This is why Squire's Devotion is great. You just get so many cards. So many cards. Alright, go to 2. To play out multiple creatures. We're on 15 cards in our library. Let's try and see if we can't start drawing some good ones. Flyer. Flyer's annoying. We might deck ourselves this Kumena's Awakening, but I felt like we were falling behind enough that we needed to try and accelerate this. Yeah. We might not live long enough. That's a strange attack. Alright, I need a couple of good ones here. That's one of them. May as well just leave that one behind. Attack for 2. Need to start making chunks into their life total. We've only got 5 turns, so... Yikes. Their deck is sweet. This is probably late to the party, but hey ho, let's try and see if we can find anything. Just never going to deal combat damage to this one. Make a treasure. Got another flyer. Oh, come on, something but land. Need to do this again. Really don't want to be doing this. Oh, have I got any spells left in my deck? Oh, that was the perfect one. Like, we're dead, but we just needed to have drawn this earlier just to try and stabilize. Like, just too many Squire's Devotions for us there. Maybe playing this was greedy, but I think if we hadn't played this, we probably would have already died, so... Sure. Like things that don't matter even slightly. There's 2 lands left, so... Okay. Onwards. Onwards, upwards. Let's try and get another win. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we've got.
Substitute.
Alright, I'll keep this on the draw. Really need some lands. Sure. Greedy to throw that land away. At least we're halfway to Vona. Oh man, if I get 4 things under here, I can cast my Vona off of that and a treasure. How good would that be? Crested Herd Collar, sure. Digging for land. Didn't find it. Let's just play out the Phoenix anyway. They're only going to be able to bounce it. They're not going to be able to kill it properly, so it's going to be pretty difficult for them to deal with. then got to use a removal spell on the tokens, so fine with this. Got more stuff to come, so yeah, it's fine. Air Elemental, go ahead. Ugh, vomit. At least that wasn't the Vona. Yikes. We have a fair old chunk of damage here. That's an interesting choice. Go to 9. That's just not happening, is it? Kind of want to go down as low as possible and then get form online. So this puts us to 1. Putting us to 1 is fine because we go back up to 15. Then if we could draw land, really want to find a land. Right, so we're gonna block Herd Collar, block Red Collar, take 3, 3, 10, go to 5. What's under this? 2, 3, 4. We need to blow up this Sailor of Means, I think. That one's got to go away. So we can cast this with a black mana. Yep. That's a strange attack. That would be a strange attack, because it means that Vona gets to block here, and I actually get to blow up the Colossal Dreadmaw with form. Or do I? No, I don't think I do. I need to try and draw into something, I think. We need to kill... May as well kill the Jadelight Artisan, Jadecraft Artisan. Going to 1. Can I afford to kill it in response? Is the question. I don't think I can, actually. I need to kill the Dreadmaw. And then I die because I've got nothing. So we need to untap this thing first. Oh, you're supposed to let me kill it in response. I needed to kill the creature it was shooting in response with the fire cannon to stay alive for another turn. Right, I think this will be the last draft of the day. I'm gonna go and do some other stuff. Got to take Colette to a night out in the evening, so yeah, not. The first draft was pretty good. I think this deck's actually very good. I think we've just been slightly unfortunate with the matchups we've had. Yeah. I'm gonna keep this one. Okay, I got a copy of the Hunt of the Week. I guess Spirewinder's fine. Sure. So we're up to 4, 5, 6 permanents. It'll be 7, 8, 9, 10. So, assuming they don't have anything to interact with us. Well, that's going to be able to interact with us. That's rude. Really want them to hunt the week on this thing. Not going to, it's fine. Sure. Yep. Yep. Take our 5 and like it. Now it's just us drawing cards, so hopefully we draw some good ones. Well, Vona is a good one. We've got another hunt the week. I'll be pretty sad, but that's not a hunt the week. Ouch. Sure. cancel. He didn't block. I'm going to use the Depth of Desire this turn. Just need to bounce something. Yeah, hopefully his Vona can start continuing to gain life and getting in there. Stop pointing at my sailor. So target creature an opponent controls deals damage equal to its power. So this is dealing 4 to this. I think I'm fine with that. Because I go up to 13, like that's good for me. Like life gain is relevant. Need to gain life. Yeah, it's a bit of an oops, isn't it? I'm just going to throw this away just so it's not a 5-5. I would rather it were 4-4. Yeah, even if it's got hay, it's fine. If he double blocks with these, I'm quite happy to make the double trade. Just kill it. It's fine. You are not letting me do what I want to do. Oh, now you put full control mode on. Smash. Up to 12, they're down to 12. They get a treasure. Blow that one up. Don't need to discard any cards. I'm on 10. I haven't drawn enough cards, so let's find some more. Cool. Nailed it. Yep, sure. Opt, Azur's Gateway, Barrier, a couple of good top end cards. Seems like a reasonable hand. Lisa, Super Lisa. I need lands before I need sailors, so. Cleaving Barrier, then we can play Azur's Gateway and start trying to filter for some lands. Trailblazer. Air Elemental's not going to do a whole lot here, so... Land this Spirewinder, it can double block to kill this Trailblazer. Knight of the Stampede, sure. So no attacks then in that case? Not gonna block. We've got the Pirates with ESN next turn, so... Come on, opponent. Sure. Another spell? You need another spell. Yeah. I'll just take it. It doesn't actually matter. Where life total is going to go back up anyway, so as well taking damage now. Pterodon, sure. Alright, secrets. Draw 3. Play another Spirewinder. Need to save this treasure so we can cast Vona when we draw it. Tonali's Crown. That's rude. Vigilance, Trample, Flying. Sure. What you got in terms of attacks for me? We get to double block the Pterodon. Prosperous Pirates can make blocks in here. Gleaming Bad Air can get in front of this Orazca Frillback until we can stabilize, but form is pretty good at stabilizing. Sure, you got this thing, whatever. It's a prime target for the form, actually. Alright, what have we got? What have we got? Okay, we are getting aggressive. So, double block here, single block here, single block here. So I go to 11 here, make a treasure. Still got these guys kicking about. Get to kill the Trailblazer here because it's the most awkward one. Menace is awkward, so let's just get rid of that. Yeah, play the fire cannon out. Hold the land so we can throw it away to the gateway. Hi, word opponent. Play faster. Sure, that thing doesn't do anything. Oh, don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'm not even that tired. Oh, come on. Shoot that thing. Right, okay, like, they're timed out. Let's move on with this. We can untap the fire cannon. Ooh, what do we want to kill? Let's kill the knight. Knight's probably the most dangerous one, just in case they draw something relevant. We can discard the Siren Lookout, want to keep the swamp. Shoot the thing I can shoot. There's not even any like relevant creatures in here really, so let's just play the sailor out. Alright, you got 6 mana. What you got with 6 mana? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. 12 lands through, so there's 5 lands left in my deck. Let's kill the seer, because they should sack it anyway, so... No, okay, they're just trying to kill me. quietly. Sure.
You should surrender now. Your fate is already sealed.
I forgot this card existed. This card is interesting.
My strength is our strength.
Want to keep my life total high or higher. Depth is a good draw too. Like, this card's not doing a whole lot, but I'd really rather not just got by something that I've forgotten about is in the format, so... Commune. A land. Should be good from here. It's a whole lot of lands under there. Go away. Smash you. Okay, 4 and 2. At least we got a positive record out of this one. After a couple of smelly losses, but I think the deck is overall pretty good. I think it's pretty good. This one's probably fine. Gleaming Barrier is going to buy us a bit of time. So 3 permanents. It's relevant because I don't really want to play this till we get to 4 or get to Ascend. So need to keep an eye. Okay, Deep Root Water. So we are against Merfolk. This card early is pretty gross. Our hand's reasonably well set up to deal with it though. Oh, that's gross though. I cannot stop yawning, I apologise. I just don't want to bounce their merfolk at all. Massively gross. Massively gross. think I'm just going to bounce this, as gross as it is. There's one I can actually bounce without having to... Oh, we're definitely bouncing that now. Please go away. And no box. Yeah, we've got access to Form of the Dinosaur, which is going to be our big removal spell. So... What are we returning? Silver Gill? Are we drawing cards or Jade Baiter? Jade Baiter. Massive feat of a Merfolk Lord here, but nothing we can do about it. Not looking great here. Not looking great. Just not being able to get a hard removal spell down. Need to land this form next turn, so need to land. Well, that kind of works out pretty well for us, though. So we're going to take 10, go to 2, but we already have the mana to be able to cast this, unless they've got a trick. If they've got a trick, then they've got a trick. Yeah, well, so be it. I literally couldn't do anything about that, so... Sure. Alright, let's crack a pack and call it a day. Oh, 2 packs, look at that. Why did we get 2 packs? Not going to complain. Argwell's Bloodfast. Mavrin Fane. Cool. Thanks very much everyone for watching. You can catch this on my YouTube archive or on the Twitch archive later on. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.